and let's roll out. Roll out, roll out, roll out, let's roll out.
What we got? All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, this is Food, Fitness, and Fun with Dre and JD, episode 10, baby. 10. I'm going to have mad 10s popping up on the screen. Watch. You know what I'm saying? In post-production, I'm going to put 10s all over the screen. You ain't even going to see us. Just mad 10s. 10 weeks in, baby. That's a topic in itself. You know what I'm saying? 10 weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's consistency. That's double digits.
Getting any gains at your 10 weeks, son? You know what I mean?
I'm trash. I'm not fly like you, son.
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying?
10 weeks is
I'm supposed to be a different person by now?
supposed to be not a different person.
I know, I'm kidding. It's supposed to be some more super fly motherfucker, right?
Results.
Hey, you're right. Well, I said before, off mic, but I have been seeing some weight loss. You know, my gains are different because I'm working on shrinkage. But I have been seeing some weight loss. I have been seeing a little bit of a creature right there. I have been seeing some weight loss. I have been seeing some of the clothes starting to fit a little looser, starting to get those "your body's changing" compliments. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I did also miss a week during our 10 weeks. Last week, I only worked out one time. I was not on point. But this week I'm doing good so far. So, you know, one day at a time. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. Same thing here. You know, people are telling me, "Oh, your body's getting more definition, more blah blah blah," and I'm feeling it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yeah.
I said we might not see you with a shirt on the rest of from now on. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? I don't know.
Might become the tank top god.
You know
what I'm saying?
You never know. These things happen.
I mean,
I just saw some tanks on Amazon today.
I said,
I'm gonna have to pick those up.
I mean, tank top god.
A little special. You know what I mean? I got a little special little deal.
Right. You know, it just so happens that the deal of the day is tank top.
Right. Tops. Word. Okay.
Give me 22 of those.
Right.
And
I'm about to start buying the old school cheap shits that you could just
rip them, right?
Like
just for fun. Just so you could rip it on the pod. Like, you know what this topic make me feel like?
Exactly.
Oh, God.
It's hot in here.
You know what I'm saying? That's it.
Yeah.
Word. That's what's up, though,
what's up, man?
All right, so let's get into this hot topic real quick.
Yeah.
One of my close friends sent me a picture of the newspaper, and it said on the newspaper, it was a big picture of the New York Post with a $100 bill on there.
Yeah.
And it said they will now be giving people $100 to take the COVID. Come on, so you're supposed to laugh after I say it. I couldn't even finish. They're giving people $100 to take the COVID vaccine. $100, baby. It's all about $100. The Benjamins, baby.
$100.
What would you do for a Klondike bar?
What would you do for a Klondike bar?
You know what I'm saying?
No.
That's the shit they on right now.
Here's the thing, man. I mean, I understand them saying, hey, we need to create incentives to get people to get this shot.
Sure.
But what they don't understand is, from my perspective, once again, if people are apprehensive,
right?
People aren't apprehensive because they're trying to win $1 million.
Right.
People aren't apprehensive because, they just need a drink.
Right.
Or
crab legs.
Crab legs or free donut.
Right.
They was doing that
Krispy
out here.
Kreme, yep.
Or the latest incentive of $100. People are not saying, hey, I'd do this if you gave me $100. Now, is that going to work for some people? Probably.
Sure.
For some, because some people just need $100.
Right.
What can I say?
Might need $100.
Times are tough. But people's apprehensions go beyond that.
Yeah.
People are looking at other cases that aren't really being talked about and saying, yo, that could happen to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People are like, yo, like, okay, these so-called long haulers.
Yep.
Oh, hell no. These so-called long haulers.
That was priceless. Yo, my man said, "Oh hell no!"
Like, what the hell?
They don't know we potted.
Doing something.
You know what I'm saying? They don't know we
Potty
potted.
right there.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I normally do it. We normally do it on Wednesdays,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
maybe that's what it is.
Listen, you know,
So
you
good,
gotta
but
let
whatever.
your peoples know. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? I hit them up and say, "Hey, I'll be potting tonight. Hey, hit you later. I'm potting."
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I gotta do that. I gotta be able to,
Or just put your
send
shit on Do
something
Not
out like
Disturb.
that. Right. Which I'm gonna do right
You know
now.
what I'm saying? Do Not Disturb. Fuck it.
But yeah, people are looking at, the long haulers, people
Yep.
who got sick and are still sick,
Yep.
and people who have like debilitating nervous
Yep.
conditions, and saying that could happen to me.
Yep.
Right. Or this young lady who we just found out in New Orleans, 30 years old, business
33.
owner,
Yep.
33, did everything in her power, took the
Yep.
vaccine, did all the precautions, wore the mask, whatever,
Yep.
went to the hospital and died.
Yep.
So when you say things like that, people are like, oh yeah, but look at the stats, like 98%, 95%, and that's fine. That's good. I understand that.
Right.
But I don't know if I'm going to fall into the 5 percentile that's going to get that.
Right.
I don't know if I'm going to fall into the, maybe 1% that is going to die in the hospital. I don't know that.
Right.
So people's precautions are people's precautions. And I just find it silly that the way they're trying to give people incentive is not saying, well, let's have a conversation about what's going on with these people who actually die. Like, let's find out biologically what's going on. Let's do a deep dive,
Right.
so that we can have a better understanding. Is it because, they had prior health issues? Maybe that's what it is.
Mm.
Is it because, they may not want to say this, but once they injected themselves with this particular vaccine, did that weaken the immune system?
Mm-hmm.
But have a full conversation. Just saying that, the vaccine works without looking at these other cases, I just think it's foolish. What's your deal?
I agree. Well, the first thing is, let's start with the incentives. The incentives have been happening for a while. The incentives are going to keep happening because more and more information is coming out. More and more people who are resistant to getting it are staying that way. I'd like to check trending topics, and I like to check the things that are going on globally. And Twitter is one of my favorite places to do that. They have a nice way of filtering those things. And one of the things I keep seeing from different sources on Twitter is that people who are not vaccinated are not interested in being vaccinated. So that's why these incentives are happening, right? They're trying to keep things going. They're trying to keep on target. Fauci said in March or something like that, maybe before that, maybe February, he did a press run, and when they were really starting to push the vaccines, and he said the goal is by the fall to have 85% of the country vaccinated. So that's what they're trying to
Right.
stay on course with. And because
Right.
they're getting, hesitancy, because they're getting resistance, they're doing their best to manipulate people. You know what I mean? I'm gonna call it what I feel it is. If people feel
Scare
the
tactics.
opposite, they could. Right. It's scare tactics. They could put it in the comments. I think that's what it is. I think it's manipulation. I also think it's media manipulation, which is why it's on the fucking cover of the Post. You know what I'm saying? Is that what should be on the front cover of the Post? Is that the most important thing that's been done today? Probably not. There's probably way more important shit that could be on the front cover. But it's a hot topic. That's why we're talking about it. It's something that's going to get people to pick up the newspaper and say, oh man, That's crazy.
Sure.
So
Sure.
they're going to try their best to manipulate people. They're going to try their best to sway people. Now, as far as what you said about data, data is important. Absolutely. And that's part of the conversation I've been having since COVID arrived is data. It's extremely interesting to me that in the age of information, in the age of data collection, because that's the real conversation. Everything is data in 2020, 2019, 2021. You know, in the last
Yeah.
couple of years, it's all about data. Even if you go back to when Snowden did what he did, a lot of this was about data collection, data consumption. Okay, great. We in the United States collect all this data. We collect your data, my data, her data, your mom's data, my daughter's data, data. You know what I'm saying? So we collect all this information. Awesome. Are we doing the same thing with COVID? I don't know. But what I do know is you see less of it being published, less and less. When COVID first came out, it was like, these are today's numbers. These many people were infected. These many passed away. It was cities were doing it. States were doing it. Every day people were on TV. Good morning, New Jersey. Good morning, New York. Oh, good morning, Louisiana. Good morning, Connecticut. Good morning. Everybody's people were on TV every morning giving you the latest and the greatest. But once the vaccines came, we start seeing less and less of that. We start seeing vaccine numbers, right?
Yeah.
Less and less we
Yeah.
see how
Yeah.
many people were infected. Less and less we
Right.
see how many people have passed away. Less and less we see the data of the trials. Now, I know that the vaccines did not go through all three phases of the trials. The United States is phase 3 of the trials. Cool. That's a whole nother topic. But we see less and less data. What we're seeing is the numbers they want us to see. And that's cool. But my question is, where's this other data? Like you're saying, they're pushing a lot of numbers, but they're pushing the numbers that are making you feel comfortable, that are making you look at it and say, oh, wow. All right.
Yeah.
I do feel
Yeah.
good. You know,
Right.
my man Dre just got the vaccine and he's fine.
Right.
So I'm gonna take it too. And listen,
Exactly.
I totally understand that. But they should also be showing us the other information. They should also be putting those things on the front cover of newspapers. Why? Because when you suppress information, it raises red flags. You know, if you're trying to move
Right.
into an apartment and the landlord doesn't tell you that there's a leak in the bathroom, he's suppressing information. He's trying to sway you to get the apartment and not address this other thing. My
Right.
thing is, if we're saying we're about transparency, if we're going to keep it real, if we're going to show the data, then let's show all the data, right?
Right.
And like you said, it brings up these situations where, okay, people are vaccinated and getting sick and they have to miss the NBA playoffs. Chris Paul, right? You're getting these situations like the young lady in New Orleans, Angelle, right? I believe that's how you pronounce her name. If not, I apologize. And this young lady was 33 years old. She was following all the health protocols. And this is not something that's being publicly stated. I found out about this because a good friend of mine sent it to me. But if not, I wouldn't have known. It wasn't on the Twitter searches. It wasn't on the For You pages. It wasn't on the Discover pages. It wasn't on the Google front lines or whatever they call it when you look up the newspaper and news stuff. You know, this is something that largely is being suppressed. Why? Because it stops the initiative. It makes you question the initiative, the agenda, the things that they're pushing. And that to me is always a red flag, right? It's like, okay, if there's a leak in the bathroom, then you let me know there's a leak in the bathroom and you tell me what you're doing about it. And then we have a conversation, which is what you said. It's like, why aren't we having conversations?
A more robust conversation.
Right.
Because the conversation is very one-sided. It's like, yo, okay, you need to do this.
Right.
It's safe. It's blah, blah, blah. But in this all these stats, but you're not having the conversations of people that we're talking about. Like, well, why aren't you bringing this person up?
Right.
I feel for me, and I think most people will be like this, it's like people want to make educated decisions. You
Right.
know, so people want to be safe. And by you doing all this trickery, it brings up red flags. Like, why are you doing that? Like, just let's actually just have a real conversation for once.
Right.
It's not about politics. It's not about, politicizing Fauci and people. Fire Fauci. That's dumb. I'm not about firing people or demonizing anybody. It's like, let's have a full conversation from all aspects so that people can make intelligent choices.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate because there are still many people who believe that the vaccine gives you immunity, when in reality, that's actually never been said. It's not
this is
something
my
that
thing.
grants immunity. Hold on. The thing is, you have to understand that this vaccine is, and I don't even think it should be called a vaccine, but that's another conversation. Stepping away.
No, I'm here. I just need my air conditioner.
All right, go ahead. Don't worry. I'll wait.
Go ahead. No, keep talking.
All right. The thing is that people fail to understand, because it's not being said, the vaccine does not grant you immunity. The vaccine is supposedly suppressing major symptoms, right? So the idea is, I get vaccinated, I contract COVID, but instead of being in the ICU, being hospitalized, my symptoms are suppressed. I feel like maybe just a light cold, things of that nature. My symptoms are less severe, but it never ever said that it grants you immunity. It never said take this vaccine. I almost said take this virus. Excuse me. Take this vaccine and you'll be good no matter what. And that is the problem.
And that's what's confusing to me personally, is that I don't understand this, because I was talking about somebody about this morning, where it's like, okay, I believe the goal is to make everyone just asymptomatic, right? Because that's basically what you're saying, where it's like, oh yeah, COVID-19 might be out there,
right,
but because we all have the vaccine, we're not getting symptoms.
Right.
But that makes me not really understand this, because what they're saying is, well, there's a lot of people who are immune compromised, meaning they can't take that vaccine shot because they have these, they're immune compromised.
Right.
So they need everybody else around them to get the vaccine, the so-called herd immunity. Well, it seems like herd immunity is not going to work, because if I take the vaccine and you take the vaccine and say we're at a party and 10 people, it's 11 people at the party, 10 people are vaccinated.
Right.
That one person that's not vaccinated can still catch COVID-19, because we can all still have it. It's just that we don't have symptoms.
Right.
So this whole thing is about getting everybody to be asymptomatic. Now, if that's the case, you might be naturally asymptomatic anyway.
Right.
I might be naturally asymptomatic anyway.
Right.
So if I'm already asymptomatic, like so many people who caught that virus was just like, word. So, I'm positive. All right. They had no symptoms. They're just like, well, I just stayed in the house because that's what y'all told me to do. So I just hung out in the house, but I didn't have any symptoms. I didn't feel any way.
Right.
And then in 2 weeks, I went back to work. Mad Cats was doing that.
Right.
So if I already am asymptomatic, and a lot of people already asymptomatic, then why are you asking them to still take a shot anyway?
Right.
And I'm not saying I know the answer. I'm just like, right now, there's a lot more questions than answers. And we need to kind of get to the bottom of some of this.
Right.
Just saying, oh, well, it's safe and you should do it. It's not an answer.
Well, it's not about
take
answers.
it anyway.
Yeah, but it's what I'm saying. It's not about answers. And that's why I said it raises red flags. If we can have conversations, if I can see that data, then I can make a different decision. And the other thing is, and a friend of mine brought this up, we were talking about it last night. Some people have to have conversations about vaccines as a whole. And that's a topic for another day. But if your views on vaccine as a whole are different than mine, then it's hard to have a conversation. Meaning, if you and your children are getting every vaccine, then you probably already look at this as no different, right? But if you don't already take vaccines, if you don't already take flu shots and TB shots and all this stuff, then this is a whole different ballgame, because for you, as far as ethics and morals, this is a different conversation. And I think that has to be part of the conversation as well. You know, if, for example, I know people take flu shots all the time. I don't take flu shots. I don't take none of that shit. And I barely ever get sick, honestly. And that could be for a number of reasons, but I don't really get sick ever. And I don't take flu shots. This is something I've been speaking about for the last year. Even when I went to the doctor recently for a physical, they asked me, they're like, hey, we see in the system, you know, you haven't had a flu shot in a while. I said, let me just ask you, what does it say in the system? They said, oh, just that you're due for a flu shot. And I laughed. And the doctor asked me why I'm laughing. I said, I can't tell you the last time I've had a flu shot. I probably never had a flu shot in my adult life. I don't take those. And I don't, they're like, oh, but do you get sick? Do you get the flu? I said, I really don't get sick. If I get sick once a year, it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? So for me personally, when I see this vaccine stuff, I'm like, yeah, I hear you, but I don't even really take vaccines. You know what I'm saying? So for me, this is not something I would run to anyway. And like we said, they're suppressing a lot of data. I need to see more. I need to see. Listen, my thing is this: you're trying to convince me, right? That's what this whole shit is about. $100, $1 million, free Metro cards, free crab dinner, whatever, right? Okay, cool. You're trying to convince me. Okay,
Lyft rides, Uber rides,
right.
everything
Okay,
on the house.
Cool, right. Thanks. Awesome. Good tax write-offs for y'all. Awesome. Now, great. I'm glad that you guys are doing all of those things to try to convince me. But that doesn't convince me. Data convinces me. Scientific facts convince me. And I'm not against it if you show me those things. But saying $100, it makes my eyebrow go up. Boop, 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 boop. Saying that you should take it anyway raises my eyebrow. Saying that the Delta variant is really too new for us to know if this shit works or not raises my eyebrow. Then if you want to convince me, you have to show me things that are going to bring those eyebrows back down, that are going to make me say, okay, I understand that, and now I'm comfortable. But $100 does not make me comfortable. You should take it anyway does not make me comfortable. Be responsible and save an old person is not making me comfortable. Those things make me uncomfortable. Those things feel like propaganda. I feel like I'm watching Hunger Games and they're like, hey, you guys ready to shoot a propaganda?
No doubt. And that's my thing, is like, I'm really more concerned about the immune system and how it works. Because I'm looking at a lot of these things saying, wait a minute, what if Miss Mosley had a dope ass immune system before she got the vaccine?
Right.
And she took the vaccine and it weakened her immune system. When I see the long haulers, people who took vaccines and are still sick right now, who are saying, yo, I regret ever taking this vaccine. Like, I was healthy, I ran, I did all different things, I had great times with my kids. Then I took the vaccine and I had, my nervous system is just done. I'm pretty much handicapped after I took the vaccine. That makes me think, whoa, that even though everyone's saying the stats are really low for that, but it happens. So what's the deal? If sometimes your immune system just has you, you know what I'm saying? It just, I got you, son. You know what I mean? Like, so and we saw that. That's my point, is that we saw so many people contacted COVID-19 and just like, okay, you know what I mean? So yeah, I don't want to belabor this anymore, but honestly, like, we got to get to a point where we're making data-driven decisions with all the data. Not just the hand-picked fly shit that, you just want to say.
Yeah, that's my thing. It's like, I'm all about that and it's fine, but then let me see it. Because, and to be fair, nothing is 100%. Flu shots have bad results, TB shots, all this stuff. Everything is cool, but then let me see the data, especially if you're gonna push it
And
this
that's
hard. And let me be
and
clear.
that's
Go ahead.
no, I'm gonna say, and that's the other thing is that, well, then let people make their decisions for their own lives.
Uh-huh.
You talking about mandating shit as if everything is good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'm just gonna mandate that you take these vitamins because these vitamins are great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay, we haven't seen anything about vitamins, but it's like there's plenty of cases, and all it takes is one for me, but there's plenty of cases where people have taken this vaccine and they're fucked up.
Right.
So how are you getting into the whole mandate shit?
Right.
You can the test, that's cool. Yeah, you want to mandate, take this test. Okay, I'll take the test.
Right.
But you mandate and putting something to my arm, weakening my, and this is how they all work, even the flu shot. I'm going to put this into you. I'm going to weaken your immune system with the hope that your immune system will catch up onto it and then protect you. But it may not do that. But we know that, well, it does it for most people. Okay, but there's no guarantee that it'll do that for me. Right now, my immune system is good.
Right.
So why should I take the chance?
Right.
And that's what people are saying.
I feel you.
Go ahead.
No, I want to wrap it up. I didn't want to spend 30 minutes on COVID.
Yeah. We could edit most of it.
No, it's fine. I keep telling you, if let our thoughts flow. I just, I don't want to make it a whole COVID podcast. But I hear you. I hear you, and I think there are a lot of things that are still unanswered. I don't think things should be mandatory. I think there's a lot that's going to come out, especially now that this virus has other variants floating around. You know what I'm saying? Now that we got 5-6 Lokis running out here, you know what I'm saying? We got to see what's going on with these Lokis.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. We're going to get into some other topics, but it's like, well, we know exercise is great.
Right.
We know exercise is probably one of the best things you can do for your body,
right,
in terms of long-term health.
Right.
Is it mandated that you go and work out?
No.
Is it, is there a government gym that we all fucking
that would be
belong
crazy.
To?
That would be fun.
You know what I'm saying? You're not going to the government gym
Right.
because you're mandated to do something every day.
Right.
You're mandated to do 30-minute walks. But the data says exercise is dope.
Right.
So,
Yep.
But yeah, let's go on to speaking of mandating exercise, right? Which is weird, but it's like, yeah.
That would be fun.
So the different types of cardio and why people do cardio and why cardio is so important.
Right.
I feel. Doesn't mean you have to do it every single day, but you should do some form of cardio.
Right.
So cardio, short for cardiovascular,
Right.
meaning these are exercises that help your cardiovascular system.
Right.
The heart muscle.
That's
right? Heart muscle is more important than your bis, your tris,
That's right.
your chest, your back.
That's right.
Your glutes,
That's right.
your calves. We all want these things to look great,
right.
but ain't none of them more important than that heart muscle.
Talk about it.
Because if that heart muscle is done, you're done.
You're done.
Right? You're done.
If you die in the Matrix, do you die in real life?
I thought you said it wasn't real.
You know what I'm saying?
Your mind
Your mind makes it real. Stop.
But
the
yeah,
body
so it's
cannot
like,
live without the mind.
Mind, yo. Your mind made it real. That's why it's real.
But I'm bleeding.
Mind
That's blood.
Thought it wasn't real.
Thought it wasn't real. All right, that's it. Cardio. Come on, stop. Before we turn this into the Matrix podcast.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
So it's like,
you said,
all right.
You think that's air you're breathing? Stop. All right, cardio. Come on, keeps the heart going. Come on.
I know kung fu.
You know what I'm saying? Show
me.
Right. Stop.
All right. But yeah, on the real, it's like, okay, so we get to the point where we know cardio is important. So what cardio should you do?
Right.
Well, you should start off doing what you like to do. That's why I always start saying,
that's our
you gotta
shit,
do
right?
what you like to do. Gotta do what you like to do.
Right.
And for some people, it could be something as simple as just taking a walk.
Right.
Never front on walking. Walking is a great exercise.
Yep. Low
You know,
impact.
beautiful. Especially it's like after you have a meal,
Right.
rather than just sitting your fat ass on the couch
Go
and
walk that
watching
off,
whatever
baby.
else. Yeah, go for a little walk. You know
Right.
what I mean? Hey, I'm just gonna, I used to do that all the
Yep.
time. Finish eating. Weather's nice outside. I'm gonna go for a
Take the
walk.
stroll.
See what's going on.
Take
Yeah,
the
just take a
stroll.
stroll for a little
That's
bit.
right.
Now we all have like all these trackers and
That's
everything.
right.
So it's like, well, track your
Right.
walk. That'd be
Get your
fun.
10,000 in.
Yeah, and that's low impact, and that's dope.
Yep.
Well, when you feel like okay, you ready to go on for there, you could speed walk a lot. I see a lot of people doing
Yep.
that.
Everybody in New York. That's how we roll.
Right, exactly. Or it's cats in New York.
Every time I'm with somebody who's not from New York, they're like, "You, you, you walk so fast. I mean,
I'm
why?
always like,
Why are you in a rush?
okay,
I thought we were just going to dinner." I'm
right
like,
for everything. You know what I'm saying? Why you rushing to go absolutely nowhere? Like
"Yo,
you going to the
listen,
corner
man, we on
store,
that New
you
York
chilling,
minute
bro.
shit. You know what I'm saying? I gotta
Yeah,
go
yeah, yeah,
fast,
yeah.
fast, fast. I got
That's,
listen. I don't gotta. I
just
don't
cats with it.
drive. I gotta catch this train. Then I gotta transfer to the bus. I gotta meet him by 7:00.
Yeah, you got to catch a train where it's like another one is coming 2 minutes after that one. Calm the fuck down.
I hear you.
I can see you have to go to work or something. That's cool. But it's like people just chilling. You have days off and you're still rushing. And then you want to know, why is my stress so high? Maybe you're doing it to
It
you.
makes me
You know
feel
what I
like
mean?
remember the movie In Time? He was just running everywhere. That's
Yeah,
New
because he didn't
Yorkers.
have no
Yeah,
time.
that's New Yorkers. I
Right.
ain't got no time.
Exactly. Yeah. Running to the bar.
Right.
Word.
He was running everywhere.
Fuck it.
They were like, we could tell you're not from here. It's like, why? It's like, because you do everything too fast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we don't do that here. We chilling. We got infinite time.
Right.
But yeah. After that, it's like, well, the question I get a lot is like, well, what's the best? So it's always like what you like, and then number two, you have the interval sort of cardio, right? Well, intervals
Yeah.
cardio is like that's my favorite, and that's our favorite. Where it's
Right.
like you go not super duper hard. You go at a you kind of just doing up and down.
Right.
You might go medium, then chill for a second, medium, chill for a second, medium, chill for a second. So you just kind of going up and down.
Right.
The pace you want to take is the pace you want to take. So for example, I'm on the elliptical and I might start it out at a 14 level
Resistance.
for 4 or 5 minutes of resistance.
Yep.
And then I might bring it down to like 9 or 10.
Right.
For another 4 or 5 minutes.
Right.
And so I'm doing none of those are like crazy, oh my God.
Right.
But there's a significant difference between a 14 level and a 9 or 10 level. Right. And so we're engaging something called active recovery,
Right.
where your heart is recovering, but you're still active while you're recovering.
That's right.
That's why I like interval training, because it's like that active recovery is doing a lot more for that heart muscle.
Right.
Then it's the big thing that people think they're doing and they're not, which is HIIT cardio.
But that's
which
interval.
stands for. Well, no, that's different. Interval and HIIT are two different things, and I'm about to explain it, and that's why I put it out there. Mm-hmm. HIIT cardio is high intensity. So what we do, our interval training, that's medium intensity. So we're not going super slow, but we're not going super high either.
Uh-huh.
We're going at a medium rate, and we're varying that medium rate.
Uh-huh.
High intensity cardio is just that. High intensity. So what would that be like? That would be like
sprinting.
You jog, right? But you sprint. You sprint as fast as you can.
Yeah.
Because you're a runner, you can't sprint but for so long.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let's say you sprint all out, where you can't go no more for a solid minute.
Yep.
Probably the longest minute in your life.
Right.
Once you're done, you can't talk to nobody. You can't be on the phone. Only thing you could do is once that minute is over, stop, and then you walk. You're not stopping, but you're walking.
Right.
And you'll walk probably for, let's say, 7 to 8 minutes, maybe a solid 10 minutes.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I think I got my breath back. Now I'm gonna do another minute. As fast as you can, as fast as you can. That's high intensity.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you're going so fast, so high up. Your heart rate is like through the roof, but only for a minute, and then you bring it down.
Mm-hmm.
That's high intensity interval training. Really, really high. So if we would do that, let's say we wanted to do that on the elliptical, we would probably put the elliptical up to the highest it could possibly can and going crazy, crazy fast.
Uh-huh.
Like, so I think the elliptical goes up to maybe 20,
Yeah, most of them are
25.
20.
Yeah. So you would go that high, like, and go as fast as you could. It's like, yo, I can't do this for too much longer.
Right.
And then bring it down. Because that's crazy how your heart is like going nuts. Like, you can't keep this up.
Right.
If it's something that you could keep it up, that you can keep up, you can keep going, that's medium intensity. You know? Now, people think high intensity cardio is the best to lose fat. That's not true.
Mm-hmm.
That's not true. Because cardio is cardio, meaning calories are calories. What's going to burn the most calories,
Mm-hmm.
right? When your heart is going that high up, you're not burning fat. You know, you're burning what they call like lactic acid. You know what I'm saying? Your heart is using, you know, it would be no different as if right now, out of nowhere, a tiger just appeared in your fucking apartment. You'd be like, oh, your body needs that to like that fight or flight shit. I need to get the fuck out of here. Like, you know, but you know, you can't keep that up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're not going to outrun that tiger, but you're going to get to where you need to get to in that minute that you possibly have.
Right.
Right. That's why we as human beings have that. We can't keep that going. So you're not losing a lot of fat there. You know what I'm saying? Just by being shocked. You lose most of your fat by having something steady. You know, because even the interval is steady. So you if you have something steady, even if it's at a medium pace or low pace, you're going to lose more. You're going to use more calories,
Right.
Because your body is using your fat stores to keep you going,
Right.
right? So when somebody is a marathon runner or they do the Tour de France and they're just going, how can they keep going like that for so long? You know, your body's using its fat stores. I can keep this up. You know, I got you for an hour. I got you for 2 hours. I got you for 3 hours. Because you're not going super duper fast, but you are using up your body's like energy stores, and your heart is not going so high where you can like almost have a heart attack if you keep that going. So that is the difference between those three things: low intensity, medium intensity, and high intensity. And you know, like I said, a lot of people think they're doing high intensity and they're not. I see them in the gym all the time. You know, I'm doing high intensity. No, you're not. You're on the phone with your boo,
Right.
talking. That's not high intensity. No, you should not be able to breathe when you're done.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I hear that. Well, one of the differences is when you do any kind of interval training, one of the things that happens is when you're done working out, your body is still trying to recover because you've put your body through these ups and downs, right? I know you said like it's a steady pace, but because you're putting your heart rate up and then down and up and then down, what happens is that active recovery is happening when you're done working out. So there are studies that show, because I did research on this a while back, there are studies that show that if you're doing anywhere from 15 minutes to 40 minutes of interval training, when you're done, whether you're outside or on a machine, when you get off that machine, so let's use your elliptical example. If you get off the elliptical and now you go about your day, your body is still working, right? Your body is still working to recover. Your body is still working to reset. Whereas when you do regular cardio or that lower intensity cardio, that like you said, like go for a jog, right? Or go for a walk. When you're done, so is your fat burning. So is everything else. Your body takes a couple minutes to reset, but it's not still working throughout the day. So that's one of the benefits of interval training. But regardless whether it's high, medium, low, whatever, when you're doing this interval training, your body is still dipping in those fat deposits, those fat storages. Your body is still working to catch up and to recover. So that's one of the benefits of interval training.
Yeah, no doubt. And let me just add to that by saying, you have to look at what your goals are. And if you're trying to say, yo, I want to, burn the most calories, then that's why I'm always like, well, you probably want to go medium.
Right.
Because low is good. Low impact is good. But let's say, you go for a walk and you only burn 200 calories,
right.
Where it's like, well, I could probably burn 300 to 400 calories, within maybe that same time.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we're kind of like burning more. At the end of the day, as you're trying to say, I'm trying to get most of these calories done. That's why you probably want to go medium.
Right.
Where high intensity, yeah, you going crazy high. But if you look at your watch, look at whatever you use to track, you're not burning a lot of calories. You're just not. It's just what it is. In fact, you know what else is high intensity training? Many of the people, high intensity interval training that we don't want to look at, or most people don't realize because it's not necessarily cardio. Strength training. Strength training is a form of high intensity training. If I put, a bench on, a bar on my chest and it's 400 fucking pounds, that's intense. It takes a lot.
Right.
That's why I can't knock out 16 of them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I do one, I might do 2, 3, and then I need mad time to recover. Just like you do in high intensity, you know what I'm saying? So it's high, it's intense, but you can't keep that going for so long.
Right.
Where if you give me 50 pounds, I'm gonna be there all day. This is nothing.
Right.
So that training isn't going to burn a lot of calories. I think people need to understand that. If your goal is to burn more calories, you need to go in that moderate level.
Right.
And interval is dope because, yeah, like you said, that the recovery benefits are amazing.
Yeah, because you're done, and throughout the day, your body is still burning, still restoring. Where if you do regular cardio, it's not doing that.
Yeah, and you're teaching your body to be more, quote unquote, I hate using this word, efficient with calories, meaning, okay, when I get a calorie, I need to use that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like because this dude or this woman likes to do all this cardio. So I got to make sure that it's there. I'm put that glycogen from that into the muscles, have it there because you regularly do this thing.
Yep.
And so you're teaching your body, hey, we burn calories a lot around this place. We don't store too much of it.
Right.
What
yeah.
I mean?
The other thing is cardio is great for stamina. And it helps with a lot of different things. Like you said, that's why cats could keep going, do these long distances, and it helps in other areas too. You know what I'm saying?
What the girls them want?
You know what I'm saying?
Stadama!
You know what I'm saying?
Stadama!
It helps in other
Stadama! What the girls them need? Stadama! What the girls them?
Yeah, I mean,
Stadama!
that's it.
One of my favorite songs.
I mean, it helps in other areas too. You
ain't never lie.
We're gonna leave that one right there.
Right.
Yo,
pick that up on your podcast.
So what happened?
I said you can pick that one up on your other cast.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I'll put that one in my sex talk videos. That's another thing. That's not a podcast. Right. That's a weekly video I drop. Or that's basically video, weekly, no doubt. Bi-weekly, it switches up. But yeah, sex talks. Maybe next week I have a sex talk topic that I think applies here. I'll talk to you about it off camera. It may be one that we could kind of blend in. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let's hit this last joint. I want to talk about snacks or really foods, right? So there are some people who I find, like me, we really like sweets, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like cakes, cookies, ice cream, etc. And then there's another group of people I find that like salty, right? They like chips, or they call them savory foods sometimes. So I would like to discuss.
Some people like to mix them,
and some people like a mix.
Sweet and salty, yeah,
right. Some
sweet
people
and
like
salty,
that too.
Yeah.
So my question is, 2 questions. One, what do you like more? I already know the answer, but the public doesn't. So, what do you like more,
Okay.
sweet or salty? And then also, which one is worse for the body, the salt or the
Mm.
sugar? Go ahead, dive
Okay,
in.
so I want to know which one do you think I like more?
Salt. You're a salty guy. You're not
Uh,
really big on sweets.
I, I mean, I like sweets too, though. You know what I'm saying? Once again, I think the answer really is for me. It depends. I'm a moody dude. I'm more like what,
All right.
you know, just
I
because
very rarely see you with sweets. I see you on the salty side more.
yeah. But I had like I went to Walmart today. I saw like these cookies. I was like, oh, let me get one because they sell them in like 3 little
Yep.
bags.
Yep.
Yeah, like $1.
Right.
Like, oh, let me get a little cookie out. I deserve it.
Because I deserve it.
Because I deserve
Son,
it.
that's the flyest shit ever, son. I deserve it. I like when people do that, son.
Right.
Niggas be like a whole big ass cookie and shit.
No,
The
that's
cookie's
too
like this big. They're like,
No.
but I deserve this cookie today.
No,
Cookie be
no.
this big. Hold on. Cookie be this big. They're like,
Right.
I deserve this cookie.
No. 1 to 3. When we were kids, my mom would give us like 3 cookies
Yep.
and to tell you to carry your
Ours
ass
was
on,
4.
which is like
We got like 4
Yeah.
Oreos, and that was it. Or 4
and
Chips
carry your ass
Ahoys.
on,
That was
which
it.
is once again the parents was right. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? You don't stop ODing on it. It's not that you 4 cookies.
moderation.
That's it. Like
Moderation.
yeah, we had 3 cookies. And we like in my mind I'm like, yo, I would destroy
Right.
these cookies.
If they give me a
wasn't my
chance,
parent.
I'll eat the whole container.
Word.
Just give me the
Remember
gallon
I
of
got
milk and the whole box of Oreos, and I'll see you after
When I
my
start-
Saturday morning cartoons.
Yo. And when I start making my own little money as a kid, I'm like, yo, dessert comes first. And I'm just
I almost choked on my
enjoying
water.
all the cookies. You know what I'm
Word.
saying? And I'm not sharing because I earned it.
Right.
But the parents were right.
That was
Moderation,
funny.
as you say. Moderation. You don't need to be eating those many. So yeah, for me, it's like, it depends on my mood. I really like both. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it depends on my mood. But in terms of what's best and what's worse, it depends on your profile.
Okay.
Right? So some people, they might have like diabetes or borderline diabetes,
Right.
or sweets really take them over the edge.
Right.
Like the moment they get one little thing,
Yep.
it's like, now I need 5 boxes of cereal.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry.
Right.
And other people, it's like, well, the salt is a problem. They might have high blood pressure,
Right.
whatever, and they just everything salt is really bad for them. So it really depends on the person. So you gotta once again have balance. Now, when it comes to salt, the great balance for that, which people don't realize, is you have to try to match that with potassium. You know what I'm saying? So if you go to the dentist and they say, oh, your salt is high.
Uh-huh.
All right. But people have told me that, oh, you got your salt is high. And I was like, my salt is high. Like, I blah, blah, blah. But I realized it was high, but it wasn't because I was having too much salt. It was because I wasn't having enough potassium. So
Gotta get those
salt
bananas
and
in.
potassium, yeah, they're like this, Horus and
Isis.
Good and right.
No,
It's
Set.
like, okay,
Set. Horus and Set.
Horus and Set, right? It's like good and evil. So they balance each other. They yin and they yang.
Right.
If you have too much salt, you can get some potassium in to bring that down. If your potassium is too high, you can have some salt to bring that down. So that's what people should know, is that a lot of times it's not necessarily that you're eating too much salt.
Right.
And if you are, if you're like, yo,
course.
fried chicken, and that's
Right.
my joint,
Right.
or bacon.
Right.
It's like if you're eating too much salt, then if
Right.
you constantly put salt on everything. But for some people, you might be like, well, I don't even eat that much salt. But the question you have to then ask yourself, what no one told me, I had to find out on my own.
Potassium.
How much potassium are you getting? And that's when I was like, oh.
Yeah, I never heard that
And just
before this
because you say,
conversation.
yeah, I had to find out myself. And then when I went back to the doctor, I was like, I told him that. She was like, oh, yeah, that's true. I'm like, but then why you didn't tell me? Why you didn't say, continue the conversation? Like you were saying before, let's have a full, robust conversation.
You know what I'm
Not so
saying?
much how much salt are you eating, or you're eating too much salt. How much potassium are you getting? Are
That's
you having
crazy.
enough potassium in your diet? And when we hear potassium, a lot of times we think bananas.
Right.
And bananas are good, but it's not the only
Yeah,
source
of
of
course.
potassium. It's not even the best. I started rocking with avocados, throwing those avocados in my salad, and it balanced out.
Yep.
So next time I went back there, they was like, oh, yeah, I see you got your salt down. No, I didn't really change my salt intake.
Just increase something
I
else.
just started getting more potassium, because guys like you and I, we need salt because we're sweating a lot. I go to the gym every day. You do cardio a lot. I do cardio a lot. Salt is always coming out. So for me to be on, I can't do a zero salt thing. It would actually be a detriment to me.
Yeah.
But I can up my potassium. I can throw some avocados in there.
Right.
I can, get other things that have, good potassium sources. And I pick up bananas like every week, sometimes twice a week.
Yep.
Pick up my avocados.
Yep.
And I also have like this like dark like molasses type thing that's also high in potassium. Sometimes I'll drink that. But I make sure now I'm cognitive. I know, I gotta make sure my potassium is on point. Yeah.
Nice. So, all right, sweet. So you said it varies for you. All right, cool. I'm a sugar guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about that sugar, baby. You said, "Oh, you got that sugar." You know what I'm saying?
And let me say, and one more thing about sugars is that, and I know people, I don't know how you might feel about this. A lot of times you can deal with that sugar craving by having some artificial sweeteners. Some people are like, artificial sweeteners are the worst and they cause cancer. There's been no studies that show that, but there have been studies that show, hey, to help somebody get over it, like their sugar habit, try some artificial sweeteners. They're 0 calories and they don't have the same effect as sugar. And a lot of times you could just, so I know people who just like, they hate artificial sweeteners. But my thing is, well, let's say you like Coke, right? So it's like, well, you can get Diet Coke that has 0 sugar. Right. It's artificial. Is it going to taste the same as regular Coke? No. But it's going to taste like 85%. Right. You're still going to have a sweet taste. So my thing is, well, if you just switch that, now you're getting 0 sugar, 0 calories, and some sweet. Right. If that's something you need. Right. Some people can go cold turkey. Some people, no more sugar, no more sugar, and they done. But that's not realistic for most people. So you got to use these little tools to help you get over shit. You know what I mean?
Another good life hack, as the kids call it, life hack. Another good life hack is have a piece of fruit. There's a lot of very sweet fruits, especially when you let them get really, really ripe. Like a lot of the fruits just before they're garbage are the sweetest. And that's a good way to, my grandmother had really bad diabetes at one point. And when she had a craving, she would just eat an orange. That was her go-to. Everybody has different things, but that was her go-to at one point. She would be like, I really want something sweet. Can you pass me 2 of those oranges? And she'll just be, she would just bust down some oranges. So,
and the fruit is best because the fruit has that dietary fiber. Yeah. And which it's natural you don't sugar. Get a lot of.
And it's natural sugar.
Exactly. Right. So, it's not processed. It's not refined. It's natural sugar. And natural sugar is always surrounded by a lot of fiber. Yep. So you get this much sugar, whole bunch of fiber. Yeah. Every time.
Yeah, and you satisfy that craving. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of different ones that you can have. Strawberries, everybody likes different stuff. So whatever you like, but when you got that sweet kick, Go get that. Go get a nice little ripe fruit.
Yeah.
And like I said, you want to
Because-
get them like the more ripe they are, usually the more sweet they are. Like I find that
Yeah, 'cause you could
bananas
kill,
are a
like-
great example of when it's
Exactly.
just about to be garbage.
Yes, I was about to say that.
Put that shit right in a smoothie. You know what I'm saying? In fact, if
Because
it's
think
about to
about
be
it.
garbage, you can have like a really small piece because it's so sweet that you like, ooh, all right, yeah, this is it.
Too much.
I'm cool. Thanks.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah. Because you think about it, it's like, yo, people could kill a king size bag of M&Ms, right? Be like, shh, I just eat all them shits, or
Definitely.
king size
Definitely
bag of
guilty of
Skittles
that.
or whatever. But it's like, honestly, how many oranges can you eat? 2, maybe 3. You're not killing a whole bag of oranges.
Nah.
Why? It's too much fiber.
Right.
That's why nature always wins.
That's
It's like
right.
you're not going to OD on a bag of oranges. You're not going to OD on a whole thing of bananas.
Right.
You're going to have 2 bananas. You'll be like, okay, I'm done with those bananas.
Right.
Or 3. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But because that dietary fiber is going to full you up.
Yep.
Like, oh, I can't eat enough. Oh, well,
Yep.
I'm full. You might catch one 2 or 3 hours from now and be
Right.
like, I think I want another orange. Or
Right.
I think I want another banana. But you're not going to just kill a bag of oranges.
Right.
Like you could kill a bag of, because that, you know, a bag of M&Ms or Skittles, whatever your thing might be,
Mm-hmm.
those refined sugars, you could just keep going at it.
Yep.
Why? There's no fiber there.
That's right.
So you'll just eat it and just never feel full. Like, man, I could just keep eating this.
Yeah, because there's also
you add that
we can
real-
actually make this a topic for next time, but it's also because of the calories. The calorie density is very different. Oh, lights out.
Lights out.
Oh well. Man, my shit just turned off.
Up to your light.
Lights out. Now I have it plugged into my PlayStation, and when you're not active, your
The
PlayStation turns off.
Right.
It's my fault. I should have plugged it into the wall. Sorry, y'all. We went dark for a moment. Bam, and we're back. Bam.
Yeah.
Yeah, the calories
Yeah,
are
what you're
different.
saying?
Calorie density is different between the fruit and the other, sugary snack. We could put that as a topic for
Refined,
next
yeah.
time. Yeah, that's a whole nother
Yeah.
empty
Refined
calorie,
sugars, yeah.
refined sugars. Yeah, those are a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good hack. And the other thing, like you said, you could eat a bunch of Skittles or M&Ms or whatever, but you ain't going to body a whole bag of 8 oranges. You know what I'm saying? Especially them big ass oranges. Orange be like this
Not
big.
happening.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo, you're not happening. I give you 2.
Yeah.
2.
Nah, but
maybe.
listen, the good thing is, even if you did body that whole bag, it's way less
Good.
sugar than that bag of fucking Skittles or
And-
M&Ms or whatever.
If you had some weird eating challenge, like we talked about last time,
Right?
a couple times, it was like, oh, okay, see who can eat the most oranges.
Right.
All right, let's say you ate like you killed the bag, whatever. You're gonna be mad full,
Yep.
but as you're saying, your calories are gonna be pretty low
Yeah, of course.
because that dietary fiber,
Yeah.
man, that dietary fiber will get into your stomach.
Yeah.
Like you're
And like we
full,
said,
man.
and the difference is you're taking way less sugar than that bag of Skittles or M&Ms or whatever it is that you like. So it's a good little hack.
Right.
All right, man. We had an hour. I'm done with y'all. But before
right.
we go, please remember, especially if you made it all the way through this hour, we love you. Thank you. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that good stuff. It helps us.
Yeah.
It helps you. Help us help you.
Yeah, and if you're listening to the audio version of the podcast, leave a comment on there, rate it, how you feel about it,
Right.
Rate the podcast. All these little things help out, just to bring a little bit more attention. I feel like I like the topics we talk about.
Right.
Obviously, other people do because they keep, mentioning and looking up for it. So if you like it and you're digging it, you're listening to it, hey. You might be on Apple or Spotify or whatever.
Right.
They have a rating system.
Yep.
Use that.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and also thanks for listening.
Thanks.
To hear me
Right.
and Jay rattle off about crazy things.
Crazy
and if
shit.
you have something that you want us to, you want to hear our opinions.
Right. I was
on,
waiting for you to finish to say the
or
same thing.
Questions.
Yep.
Yeah, let us know.
Right. Throw that in there. You know what I'm saying? Don't text me. No, I'm just kidding. They stay texting me. I'm not going to say names. And, I'm being nice because I'm going to start saying some of y'all names. You know what I'm saying? Y'all keep texting me. But somebody hit me up and was like, yo, you know what y'all should talk about on the pod? Listen, put it in the comments.
That's not the way it works.
Stop texting me. Put it in the comments.
No doubt.
All right, we out of here, baby. Peace.
All right.
And let's roll out, roll out, roll out, roll out. Let's roll out.